Hey peeps, welcome to NasTime. Today's video, I just want to do a quick review, talk about what it's like driving the Mazda BT50. Just my first initial experiences on and off the road and just what it feels like. This is the XTR model. For me so far, it's been a lovely car to drive, I must say. And, you know, we'll talk about on the road first. Look, on the road as a daily driver, it feels really nice. One thing I will say, that it definitely feels like a car rather than a ute. In fact, even my wife, who hated driving my Challenger before, and steering was a bit heavy and she just felt it a bit, you know, too big for her, she jumps in this from a little SUV. She's got an ASX, and she actually, well, she's the mother's cat, but my wife actually quite enjoys it. She says the steering wheel is really light and it's actually quite a comfortable and nice car to drive. So, you know, all in all, I'm going to give it a pretty good rating. And as far as handling on the road, look, I'm going to say it's actually quite nice, really. Like, it's you know, around bends and stuff, it handles pretty good. Power wise, look, it doesn't have a lot of you know, look, it's not real responsive. One thing I will say, and look, in any car, I think you almost have to have a throttle controller. So I've just got a new one actually from Directions Plus. It's a four-wheel drive specific one, so I'm looking to fit that soon. And I've driven with throttle controllers before and they make a massive difference. So, you know, from that respect, if you want a little bit of response in your throttle, definitely get a throttle controller. But overall, look, it's got a bit of power. It's, you know, you can't just put your foot down and things going to take off, but it is a big car. It feels a little bit hard under, you know, under the butt, and you know, it is a four-wheel drive again. It's got leaf springs in the back. You know, I compare it to when I drove my mate's Raptor, Ford Raptor, and that thing was absolutely amazing. Off the road, it just felt like you're on the highway. You know, and nothing compares to that. But this is a bit heavier. It's a little bit bumpier. And, you know, you feel those bumps a little bit more. But, you know, look, to be honest, I'm going to upgrade my suspension, so it's probably not a big deal for me. But, you know, for those that obviously intend to stick with the original suspension, look, it's pretty good. It's comparable to pretty much any other four-wheel drive with leaf springs. Look, anyone that hasn't driven a modern car, this is obviously just a few weeks old. And my last car was 7 years old. So it is absolutely unbelievable on the road, and for me it just feels like you've just entered the new age, and these cars pretty much drive themselves, and I mean that in that you know, even on the highway now, adaptive cruise control, one of the best inventions since sliced bread, and it's simply just, you know, set it and forget it, and it goes through towns. Most of the time you've got a car in front of you and they're slowed down to the town, and you're really not adjusting your speed or touching the accelerator. It is a really nice car to drive. Moving on inside to the car, it feels like a nice cockpit. Like I said, it feels more like a car to drive than a four-wheel drive. Everything's in pretty close proximity. I'm still trying to get used to where all the buttons are. I think for me, you know, like using cruise control and that sort of stuff, familiarising myself. But it's, you know, relatively, what do you call it? Like, it's, you know, ergonomic's not the right word, but it's user-friendly. Everything's kind of right where you need it. And I'm pretty happy with it. It's, you know, it's got a nice little cockpit. So as far as I'm concerned, you know, a couple of points for your, you know, for your phones and all that sort of stuff. Nice little place for my phone. One thing I will say, and it's the start button. Why can't you put it on the right? I'm right-handed, like most other people around the world, and it's, you know, I'm kind of assuming they got it there from America or international car setups, but for me, was it going to cost you that much to move it to the right? That's something that does annoy me a little bit, but, you know, hopefully I'll get used to that. The seat feels quite comfortable. There's quite a few adjustments. The lumbar support is actually quite good, and you know, I'm still kind of tweaking the seat, and it'd be nice if it had like a memory for the seat, because, you know, I really am kind of focused on trying to get the seat set right, and then what happens is someone else jumps in the car and you know, adjusts it, and then you've got to go back again and find your place again. But it's actually quite a comfortable car, quite a comfortable seat. It hugs you quite nicely. I didn't get the leather seats, and that's mainly because at some point I'll end up putting seat covers on it anyway. Look, it's your own preference whether you like leather. The leather, I did have the SP model for a few days. I'll do a review on that if you haven't already seen it. Link it up here, but essentially the leather does feel nice. You know, it's not the highest grade leather, but it actually is quite a nice leather. The tyres hold up pretty well on the track, on the road as well. and you know, there's obviously no slipping or anything like that. Look, they're not the highest grade or the best tyres. They're not my first choice in tyres. You know, they're the 260 R18 and Bridgestone's Jewelers. You know, they're just the standard tyres, but I have upgraded. I'm in the process of upgrading my tyre. You may already have seen this video, or if not, again, I'll link it up there somewhere. And that tyre's mainly for the purposes of heading off-road. I've done basically my first road trip with a couple of mates. Ed's for driving camping and Trevor from Dirt Road 4x4. So just name dropping now, but I did meet, we met Adam Craze, and he set up the Buller Road Brewery. So nice weekend away. So on the way back, Trevor took us up to a place called the Paps. Never heard of it. Little sign on the side of the road, hardly noticeable, and I've got to say, it's one of the prettiest places I've been up to, and I'll show you a little bit of footage from that. But again, little chance to slip it into four-wheel drive. Obviously, it's not a serious track, but for me, at least check that the four-wheel drive function works, and it slipped in quite nicely and quite easily. No problems whatsoever. Definitely nice from my perspective having a dial rather than, you know, the stick. I didn't like that in the last car, and it was such a vibrator as well in the Challenger that it used to just annoy me. And yeah, it got nothing like that now. So then, you know, driving through a bit of farmland and that sort of stuff. Look, I actually noticed Ed was driving in front of me. A couple of spots where he actually, you know, the wheels just kind of slipped a little bit. I didn't notice that on my car, but saying that, Ed was actually going straight through the tracks and or straight through the puddles, and I was trying to avoid them because I'm trying to keep it clean. And I'll still be washing it later. But yeah, so look, it handled quite well, and we're just talking road tyres as well, and with none of us aired down. You know, it wasn't that kind of serious that we felt we needed to. A few of those whoop-de-doos and that sort of stuff. It handled everything quite nicely. It stuck to the road, stuck to the track quite nice. I can't say any good or bad anything. It just flowed really nicely. We got a little bit of a, you know, I won't say gnarly, you know, bit at the end, but it was a good opportunity to actually, you know, see how it goes over a little bit of, you know, it was a rocky, bumpy, you know, last little climb to the top, and beautiful views. I'll show you a bit of that. But essentially, it was a good chance coming down to stick it into crawl control, and yeah, I've never used that for me. So into low first, crawl control, and just let it do its thing, and it was quite interesting. You know, with cruise control, you're still going to have to, you know, use braking and gearing and that sort of stuff. But I just wanted to see what it did on its own for a short little spell, and then, you know, it took it quite nicely and just slowly crawled as it should be, and that's without the throttle control. My throttle control does have a crawl mode, but that's purely just running off the car setup. So there you go, guys. That's the Mazda BT50. A little bit of an insight as to how it handles on and off the road. Still early days. Subscribe, and you know, moving forward, you'll get some more reviews. Till then, guys, thank you very much. Really appreciate your time. See you in the next video.